The challenging part of training your dog to come is because you haven't been clear with them on what the criteria is. So here's the scenario. You're in your house, you say, oh, where's my dog? And then you say, Baxter, come. And Baxter pops his head around the corner from 10 feet away and you go, oh, there he is. I see you, thank you. So you just asked your dog to come. The dog came within 10 feet of you or eye shot of you, and you accepted that, which everybody does. But then you're at the park the next day or you're in your yard the next day and you say, Baxter, come. And he looks at you and you say, come. And he says, here I am. This has been fine with you for 90% of the time you asked me to come. We need to be clear with what come means. My other recall videos, I've talked about the go-get method. And I believe in the go-get method. However, the go-get method doesn't work unless we train them on what to do. The go-get method only works when they are ignoring you intentionally, for the most part. So we got to train them what to do. So here's what you do. The come cue is your hand down and saying come. It is not a verbal come. We've got Tessie here. She is a young dog. She is here for loose leash walking, leash reactivity, and coming. I have some treats. So here's how you start this behavior. Come with your young dog is no longer come. It can't be. You have to show them where to come. They have to come touch your nose to your hand. So then when they're out and you say come, they go, oh yeah, my nose to that lady's hand. Not this general ambiguous, what does that word mean? Is it 10 feet away? Is it eye shot? Oh, it's my nose to that lady's hand. That's the key. She's over here. Tessie, come. Hear my come command? How there was some pop to it. Boom. She touched the nose to my hand, and then I'm going to treat her. Now, why did she touch the nose to my hand? Because me, like many of you, are often training sit with a lure. We're often training down with a lure. The dog, when that hand is presented, the dog will often come to it, but you have to use it correctly. Okay, so a lot of trainers, and I used to train touch. Okay, I used to train that behavior, but my clients and most people don't want to be out there in a dog park and being like touch. They just want to say come like a normal human being. I want her to go away from me. I'm going to show this to you again. Did you also hear my Tessie, come? Boom, she touches and I treat. Can I mark it with a verbal bridge is what it's called and say, yes, I can. You don't have to. The dog's right in front of you. Verbal bridges, whistle bridges, clickers, those things are for distal stuff more than they are right in front of you. Tessie, come. Over and over again. Boom, touch, and then reinforce. Over and over and over again. Once the dog understands what's expected of them, then you can go get them with that go-get method, which you've probably seen in my other videos, and really is the final step to get 100% recall. This is not the 100% recall method. I don't care what anybody tells you. There are things in the world that are going to be more reinforcing than treats. Tessie, come. Beautiful, and a touch, and then a treat. Okay, I didn't put her in a sit, so she can do whatever she wants. Over, it's a numbers game. Training's a numbers game. Different types of training. Comes and sits and down. Basic obedience is a numbers game. All right, she's following me. That's fine. I could have treated her. And then you progressively we're in an easy area right now. Okay, let's go to the pasture. Okay, we're gonna go to the pasture. We're gonna see if this works. This is a much more distracting environment. Go play. We eventually want to get rid of these treats too. But it's a numbers game. You got to let them know, my nose to that lady's hand gets me treats. My nose to that, then you build up what's called a reinforcement history. Then you fade out the treats and the dog just comes. Tessie, come. Good girl. Good girl. Boop. Beautiful. Treat. I gave her like 4 treats. Okay. That was a 20-foot recall. She ran the whole way. Did you see how I also was like, good girl, because she started from so far away. I wanted to reinforce her with verbal praise because it was going to take her a while to get to me. So I like the talking. When you're doing a long recall, I like marking it from far away with that verbal praise. Tessie, come. Good girl. What a good girl. Touch, touch her nose to my hand, and she gets treats. The nose to the hand pretty much has to happen, okay? It can't be a flyby. It can't be a come and sit. And then I want you to start doing this, guys, because when you're at the dog park, you don't want them what I call taking the money and running, touching and then running, or touching and then you treat them and then they run. So now that next you're gonna add this. Ready? Tessie, come. Slow, dude. Boop. Then I want you to grab and then treat. It becomes where the grab is the criteria to get the treat. It's not just coming to you. They have to be able to get grabbed, then treat. Don't treat, then grab. The criteria, the reinforcement is predicated on the grab. No more just coming to you. It's now being allowed to be grabbed so you can leave the dog park or whatever. Okay, go play. So that is, I'm telling you, the cue for come is no longer a verbal cue. It is no longer stand there like a statue and say come. It can become that, but with your young dog, it can't be that. They have to have a place to go. They have to have a visual cue. Most cues are actually visual. That's why I don't use a ton of verbal cues for stuff, is the dog's keying off your body for most things. They learn better visually than they do just from you talking to them. So the cue is like this or like this. I don't care which one you do. Criteria is nose touching the hand, and then you give them the treat. If they don't come, once you've done that a number of times and the dog's a little older, 9 months, if they don't come and you're like, I trained come, like my dog hears me and they are ignoring me, then you do the go get method, which I've talked about many times. But you have to do this first, all right? There's your come video on the cue, the criteria, and adding distractions and different places to it, getting this eventually to the dog park, and having your dog come really well.